Hell, this case is getting more exciting even though the trial is already over. However, Annie J., the district attorney that opened the case, did not let all the evidence out there. Now, they said they found DNA, right? In a hat across the street at the original beginning. But what Annie J. kept from the courts was the fact that they found female DNA under Eleanor Roberts' fingernails. Yeah. And they refused, the district attorney refused to release the name of that female. Now, before the trial, Annie J., the district attorney, got a court order so anything doing with the Roberts family does not have to testify. I'll bet you 10 to 1 that DNA found under her fingernails was from her fighting back with her attacker, which is a female, which would lead you to June Roberts. And of course, the district attorney, Annie J., covered it up. Unless, of course, Annie J. had something to do with the murder herself. Why would she fight so hard to cover up or get the Roberts from testifying or anything about the Roberts? They didn't even have to give up their DNA. Annie Roberts knew this. So she covered up the fact that June Roberts killed Eleanor Roberts. Prove me wrong. Bring forward that DNA. It's female DNA. We know this, and Annie J knows this. And see, this is why Annie J wanted me to testify under a lie, so she can get a slam dunk on John Sarver. See, she knew I knew this information because I talked to her about it. She told me to shut my mouth, keep my mouth shut about it. Well, I'm no longer keeping my mouth shut about it. You convicted the wrong guy. You had no DNA, his DNA to back you up. Oh, what about the handprints? Very good. There were witness statements that I seen. I don't have copies of them, but I have seen them stating they seen our loving Brian Ellingworth go into the house before the cops got to the crime scene. He was carrying a bag. Now, my theory on this is that him being law enforcement, or close to law enforcement, studying to be law enforcement, he would have the proper tools to place handprints on the sink. John Sarver's handprints on the sink. It's called a stick and swipe. Back in the 80s, they use them all the time. And back then, only law enforcement can get them. You couldn't get them as a civilian. You stick them on something, you can pull a print up. Then you can take that print and place it wherever you want. Usually, it's for you put it on a piece of paper. I noticed when I looked at those pictures, I seen some sticky residue around those handprints, and it wasn't blood. It looked like a stick and swipe, a swipe and stick, whatever you call them. Yeah, which tells me that Brian Ellingworth, our dear beloved sheriff, put the handprints there to frame John. These three individuals just had no way of how they could get John. John probably had an alibi. John probably had some. See, these people didn't realize they had this all planned out how they were going to convict John Sarver, but they had no idea what type of person I am. I'm the person that gets to the real root of the matter. I'm the person that would dig and dig and dig when there's no other possible explanations. I'm the guy that's going to prove that John Sarver did not do this. I'm the guy that's going to bring down Annie J for conspiracy to cover up and hide a murderer and hide DNA from the defense, which brings me to another thing. If Annie J knew this, knew all this information, it means the judge would have to know this information. Now, Well, she could have kept it from the defense attorney, which I believe she did. That's why the defense attorney would have brought it up in the court, and he never did. Because any information that you get, you have to make public. You have to make the defense attorney know. You cannot withdraw any evidence. This is why the Roberts family did not have to testify. This is why the Roberts family did not have to give up DNA, because June Roberts killed Eleanor Roberts. The proof is under Eleanor Roberts' fingernails. Her DNA. And it's defensive. The handprints can be easily placed there by the stick and swipes from the 80s. They don't use those anymore, but maybe they do, but very easy. And a witness's statement said they seen Ellingworth going in the trailer before the detectives got there to investigate the scene. So you tell me. Did John Sarver do it? I don't believe so. I believe that either Annie J had something to do with the killing, or she was just paid to cover it up. I'll leave that part up to you, but I know June Roberts. Why wasn't the female DNA brought into court? Because it belonged to June Roberts. June Roberts did not have to give her DNA. Neither did anybody in the Roberts family. Because Annie J made sure of it. So she either got paid off, or she helped kill Eleanor Roberts. Prove me wrong. Test that DNA that they found under the fingernails, and you will have your killer. Which, of course, will lead back to June Roberts and or Annie J, the district attorney. Why would she fight so hard to keep that shit out of the court? To me, personally, I believe that Annie J had something to do with it, too. But that's just my opinion. But I know June Roberts did, because that's why the DNA was not tested against June Roberts, because it would show up you killed her, because those were defensive, that was defensive. It was, but see. And John Sauer fell in the mix because the murder weapon was given to him. He was told, apparently from what I'm understanding of this, that he was told that if he said anything, he'd be next. This is what I'm told. That part, I'm not too sure on. But anyway, that's a different story. The one I want is I want to see June Roberts come down for the murder of Eleanor Roberts. I want to see Brian Ellingworth come down on the murder for Candace and Deidre Week. And I want to see Annie J get hit with conspiracy to cover up the killings of Wood County. Halfway through the trial, the John Sauer trial, she figured she had a slam dunk case because June's DNA cannot be used in court. So she had a slam dunk case on hearsay bullshit. So she goes to Madison, runs for state's attorney down there. I guarantee you. I will guarantee you, when the good people of Wisconsin find out that Annie J covered up a murder and protected a killer from being convicted and falsely convicted an innocent man, I don't think her job as a DA or legal system will hold water anymore. Me personally, I wouldn't hire to protect a Kool-Aid stand. This woman, both these women, have to be brought to justice. That DNA has to be exposed. That DNA, that female DNA, they know whose female DNA it was. Of course we know it was June Roberts, because there was a court order that June did not have to give up her DNA. Why? Because it would match the DNA under the fingernails of Eleanor Roberts. So, now knowing this tidbit of information, do we really think John Sauer killed an old lady for some chump change? Which is bullshit. And the fact that we have witnesses' statements that were not allowed the defense to see that can prove Brian Ellingworth was in there doing something. In my mind, doing a stick and swipe, putting fake handprints in there, or put handprints over there of John Sauer. Just set him up. We don't know exactly what he was doing in there. But hell, he killed 2 young females. He killed Deidre Week, covered it up. Come on, man. You can't tell me that Wood County is this dumb. That it takes me to figure all this out and bring this forward. Because people in Wisconsin Rapids want to walk the walk, but they don't want to talk the talk. They want to front. Oh yeah, we're investigating it, and not move all their dead asses and get to the bottom of the details. These details left out of the court, it gave the fact that John did not get a fair trial. He couldn't make a defense, because everything they had against him pointed to him, knowing that he couldn't make a proper defense. And by not allowing the DNA of June Roberts, the killer, into the courtroom to match the female DNA under Eleanor Roberts' nails, proves that June Roberts is the killer and that Annie J knew about it and covered it up. Now, was Annie J one of the killers? Don't know. But I know she covered it up. She knows who did. She knows that June did. Did Brian place John's handprints there? That part of the story, we'll never know. However, from what the witnesses say, he was carrying a fingerprint kit, whatever they looked like back then. Apparently someone knew what it was. So, yeah, it's very likely he does. I mean, he killed a little girl. He killed Candace. I mean, come on, man. This guy is guilty as fuck. See, they thought getting away with this murder is going to be easy. Actually, committing murder is easy. It's like getting away with it that's kind of tricky. Especially when you got a nosy son of a bitch like me poking around. And one who has a channel to put stuff out there to wake people up. And I don't mean wake people up. Woke people up. We're woke. We're not awake. We're woke. And we're sick and tired of you guys running this damn county. Like it's your own private little killing spree. And you can blame anyone you want. I'm going to tell you straight out. I don't think Annie J is going to get the district attorney role in Madison, or state's attorney's role in Madison, once people start seeing my video and start checking in on some stuff. Why didn't she allow that female DNA into court that was found under the victim's fingernails? Why didn't she force June to give up DNA, or anybody in Robert's family? Because she was protecting a killer. And see, this, I ain't making none of this stuff up, because everybody involved, the names I mentioned, know that at this point they're probably shitting their pants, wondering how the fuck I found out about this shit. Well, you know, when you know that the system is crooked, the biggest thing about crooks and crooked people is they always leave evidence. They think they can't be touched. And I'm sure there's some kind of federal lawyers or something out there willing to check on everything I just said. And being feds, I know you can do it. I'm sure the good people of Wisconsin will not vote for Annie J for state's attorney in Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin. That would be the biggest mistake. I mean, she covered up a killer. She covered up a killer, blamed an innocent man, put an innocent man behind bars. Yeah. Yeah, well, Now we know who the real killer is and why June Roberts did not have to testify or give up her DNA. Because the DNA would show that she was the killer because it was under Eleanor Roberts' fingernails. And then Annie J covered it up. Conspiracy to hide a killer. Aiding and abetting after the fact. Because now when June gets convicted, Annie J will also get the same time that June gets, which is life in prison. A conspiracy. As far as Brian Ellington, he's got a lot more to worry about. From the killing of Candace and the killing of that little girl. So, I mean, he's already got 2 life sentences he's looking at. So, however, I just figure I'd keep you guys posted. I told you I would keep you posted. And I'm doing exactly that. Y'all have a good one now. I'm Jim with Life's Adventures, keeping it real. Stay safe.